Hi everyone, my name is Nadege and we would like to welcome you to the second episode here on the Marriage of My Youth. I hope that you have been enjoying the videos that we've been putting on so far. So I'm here once again with my husband. Hello, husband.
Hi.
So second episode.
Yeah,
How are you doing with the co-hosting?
feeling great already.
Okay.
Can't wait to enter.
Amazing. Well, the guest that we have on here today, she's somebody that is very special, not just to us collectively, but to me especially because this is somebody that has known me since I was very, very, very young. And I'm still very young now, but she's known me from a very, very, very young age. Not only has she become a mother to me, she's my mentor, she's my friend, and she's really somebody that you can call on at any moment, or well, I can call on at any moment to talk about literally any and everything. She's an amazing woman of God. She's a pastor, a mom, and her cooking is top notch.
Yes.
If you are anywhere in Perth, specifically in Mount Hawthorne, whether you are hungry, whether you're just looking for something to nibble, she has one of the best restaurants here. It is called Asida Jigs. So you need to go and visit. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my mom, Pastor Gladys. Welcome, mom.
Welcome, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
What a beautiful introduction.
How are you doing?
Yes, that's really well. Thank God. Every day is a new day,
Yes.
and we can only be grateful for the gift we receive.
Yeah. So today, before we get into our topic for today, I wanted you to just talk a little bit about yourself, give us a little background of who you are, where you came from, maybe some secrets to the ingredients that you put in the food. But yeah, just give us or give them a little, we know you, but we just wanted you to give them a little bit background of who you are. And yeah.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. I'm just excited because I'm very passionate about marriage, about Christian marriage specifically, and I love the idea of education because I'm a teacher. I'm a born teacher and a trained teacher.
Wow.
I don't consider myself as a preacher, I consider myself as a teacher. So when I get the opportunity to teach, I'm so happy. Well, my name is Pastor Gladys. I'm married to one man, Pastor Boadi, the senior pastor of all the Christian Center. And by the grace of God, we have 3 beautiful daughters, and God has blessed me as a son. Which now I got 4 kids. I'm so excited about. We've been married. This year will be 22 years.
Wow.
In the
Wow.
marriage. And just bless God for how far He has brought us on this journey. I'm a teacher, like I said, a trained teacher, a born teacher, but then also I'm a professional counselor. I did my counseling here in Australia. I've always done counseling anyway, but I did a degree in counseling. So I could do all forms of counseling.
Yeah.
But I choose to do marriage counseling
Wow.
and specifically Christian counseling. So at the moment I do the premarital counseling and marriage counseling. So the premarital counseling is more like marriage education,
Yeah.
which I do for couples that are planning to get married.
Yeah.
And the enrichment is when now they are in the marriage and then they are dealing with 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
Then they come and see me, we look at it, we sort it all. And aside all that, I also have the restaurant, like you said. And by God's way, that was just a dream, and God made it happen.
Amen.
And the dream was to have a West African restaurant, at least. We represented also in food.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I little did I know that putting the restaurant together was going to save marriages,
Wow.
to save homes, because a lot of people are into, which is one of the things the topic for is within the topic that we're discussing tonight. A lot of people are in intermarriages. So some people also have migrated and they are craving food and stuff like that. So the restaurant comes handy.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And you know how it is when you crave something and you don't get it. It can like your mental health is not something.
Yeah.
When you did something that be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody.
I understand it. That's you're okay.
Yeah.
If somebody triggers you, the anger is not as bad.
That's
Why
right.
So yeah, so on that side, so then I have the restaurant going. But yeah, Bible, I think I'm just a mother, a wife, and a good helper to my husband running the church.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and I'm always looking up to her in many things, and she knows that. And yeah, I really appreciate and we really appreciate you, Mom. So our topic today, we are going to be discussing traditional marriage. Traditional marriage. What is traditional marriage?
As I was reflecting on traditional, I think that there's a lot of people that interchanges traditional and cultural.
Yeah.
They think they're the same thing, they are not.
Mm.
It's just like sex and intimacy, they are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's two different things, but
Mm.
we tend to interchange them with the idea that they mean the same thing. Traditional marriage is more, if you talk about tradition, you talk about beliefs, values, and practices that have been handed down over in a generation, down in the generations,
Yeah.
in a family, or like a group of people.
Yeah.
So, for example, like in your family, starting with your great grandfather, whatever they were doing, we hand it down to every one of you. So it becomes the tradition of the people.
Wow.
Culture, on the one hand, is more like it's similar. It's similar. So culture, you'll be looking at the beliefs, the values, the custom, the language that is shared by a group of people.
Yeah.
So, like I'm from Ghana. In Ghana, so we have different tribes.
Yeah.
And I think most African countries have different tribes within the country. So, depending on the kind of tribe you come from, you speak the language,
Yeah.
you dress a certain way, you have a certain kind of food you eat. That is like an identity for that group of people.
Yeah.
Whereas tradition is more like it's specific to a family or a
Okay.
certain group of people.
Okay.
So when we talk about traditional marriage, we are looking at those beliefs, those systems that have been handed down in the family line for a generation.
From our forefathers.
The family is upholding when it comes to marriage.
Wow.
So you find that it differs from person to person, family to family. Although there's a lot of similarities, but then every family have their own kind of system that they emphasize. This is what I would consider to be marriage if it's done this way.
Yeah.
So I can give a typical example like so I'm from Ghana. I'm from the eastern part of Ghana, and then my husband from Ashanti. But then we consider ourselves as Akans. So we do similar things, right? When it comes to trying to marry someone.
Yeah.
And so in terms of going to, you have to do the knocking. That means go and officially show your face.
Yeah.
That, I'm interested in this person, and what do I have to? What is the requirements? I have to become this person.
Yeah.
Then they will give me a list of things to bring.
Yeah.
And then all that, so that you follow whatever they give you. Some family will say, "Oh, we don't give list or anything like that." Then you run with it. But within the same Ghana, the other tribes will be like, "Oh, for us, we require this specific drink, this specific thing, this number of cloths, this thing. It has to be done before sunrise. It has to finish before this time." So they have specific things. So you can't say Ghanaians, this is their traditional marriage. No. Because traditional marriage is specific to the group of people or like a family.
Yeah.
Whereas culture is more of all the people that are within that kind of tribe.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's very interesting. We've learned something very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because I mean, every time, like even for us, we had our traditional wedding. Everybody is always having their traditional wedding, and that's what we call it. So,
We think, okay, that is general for everybody. So that is very. I hope you have learned something before we even take off. That was a great intro, or eye-opener intro.
so then moving forward, so now we want to talk about marriage, like coming from a cultural perspective. Maybe for the purpose of this discussion, we'll talk in the African context.
Yeah.
Maybe it would make better sense, because I think if we try and because obviously we all come from different places and there's different practices and everything, but we'll try and speak mainstream African society,
Like under the umbrella of Africa.
of Africa. And one of the biggest hot topics, when we talk about marriage according to our culture, our African culture, one of the biggest, hottest topics is dowry.
Oh, yeah.
And brothers. So, and we see that people say that, okay, when we pay the dowry, it is actually fulfilling scripture, I guess. Yeah. So what can you say about that, first of all? Dowry. Where does this thing come from, this idea of dowry?
It seems they have the culture, African culture is following the pattern of the Bible, because we saw in the Bible, for example, when Abraham sent Eliezer, to pay, so he took things to pay dowry. So it's like the African or the cultural system of marriage is following that pattern.
Well, to a degree, because if you look at even the biblical context, the biblical sense, which the scripture you are quoting is in Genesis 24:52-61. When you read, you see all that the servant did to get Rachel and bring to Isaac. Right? Now, I will say our cultural traditional marriage follows is similar. But don't forget that even with those times with Abraham, it's according to his tradition, according to his culture. He is from, I think, Abraham did not natively is from west. Just left my head anyway. But so whatever he's doing is based on his culture and what he
Because you're very specific. It's like, don't take anybody from here. Go to
my kindred, get it from my people.
Yeah, you're very specific.
Come from my people. So the idea of that, right? As I was doing a bit of reading around this topic, and for the few people that I've done the counseling for, and what I observe in the community, a lot of people seem to have issue with dowry paying. But let me break it down for you. See, thank God for you guys. You guys got beautiful kids. I love your kids, and I love what you're doing with kids. Now, look at your children now, and look at what goes into raising them. Starting with your sleepless night. To the cost of raising one child, top of 2 and 3 and 4. Those days you used to raise plenty. And to see this child become something. Now, bring it back to the scripture in that Genesis where Eliezer went to get Rachel for Rebecca for Isaac. The Bible talks about how did Eliezer find Rebecca. She had gone to fetch water. And when he prayed that whoever I asked, let him fetch for my camel. So Rebecca had gone to fetch water. Rebecca was serving the family. Was in good service to the family. You understand? And here Eliezer comes. I like what I see. I want to take you with me. Okay, let's hold it there. Now bring it to wherever I started from. See how you are raising your children. Now they have reached a level where they are going to be of great service to you. Like this, the grandmother's day, my daughter, she's only 17. She's 16 even. She's not even 17. She works for me. I only give her something.
Every Saturday, when you see, she's the one that is at the show. We'll go there like, where's Mommy?
Babe, don't say Saturday before we look like we are always. I mean, not that we are not always there, but like we're always.
Then, with that small money I give her, she goes and buys me $80 worth of clothes because she says it's very comfortable and she wants me to wear it because I stand too long cooking and stuff, and she wants me to wear the clothes. Now, she's not married yet, and she hasn't left my house. But this is her thought. She's thinking about the family. She bought that, this, is it Woody or what? Very warm, this thing, and she actually made sure, she bought it online like a branded one, which was quite expensive. You know, I was like, why do you need to? No, it's for dad, it's for father. I want him to wear.
Yeah.
My dad is always cold. You know, I want him to wear this and that. See the thought of your child.
Yeah.
Now, if this child doesn't go anywhere and she starts working, her thoughts is for the family.
Yeah.
She wants to be supporting and be helping as much as she can. Even now, when she's home, she's cooking, she's doing. All of a sudden, Rebecca is serving the family. Somebody comes and say, I want this job. On a normal good day, the father was able forward.
Yeah.
You want, I also want. Why you think? Because this child is of great value to me.
Yeah.
Why do you want to take this child?
Yeah.
So I said, because it's in God's plan that we reach a certain point in life, and all of a sudden, the it enters our heart. What is the it I'm talking about? You have mom, you have dad, you have siblings, you have everybody.
Yeah.
But you feel like, I just need somebody.
Yeah.
All of you, I know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you my whole life, but you're not enough.
Yeah.
I need somebody else.
Wow.
So you start to search. There's something in you that start looking.
Yeah.
Then you find it, you're like, ooh, that's fine. You see? So someone has invested in you.
Yes.
But now that you're at a good place to also at least give back or do something, the it has entered your heart. And you're about to walk out the door. Now you're the one that is now going to benefit from somebody's year's lifetime of investment. You can't pay them for that investment.
Definitely.
But you can at least be grateful and show that gratitude to the family and say, hey, Dad, I know, this is your daughter. I know she's all that, you want her to be, but hey, it's a beautiful flower, but I want.
Yes.
Please, how can I help this one? That would be like, I'm not selling my daughter, but do something that is nice. So, like I said, some people are specific.
Yes.
They will tell you. But even so, whether they are specific or not, sometimes it's like, how you come to take my child and are far away from me, like, so I'm not going to even benefit. She's not going to cook for me again. She's not going to clean my house. She's not going to do all these things. Even if she will still be sending me money or she'll be helping, now she has to ask permission for goodness sake. She's like, responsibilities. I'm not going to have her to myself the way I would have now.
Yes.
So the direct paying idea comes from this whole notion of someone has raised their child, invested in their child, but then the services of the child is now going to shift from them to you.
Yes.
Now, for the father to be confident to say, I can give my child to you and my heart to be at peace.
Yes.
It's also part of what our traditional marriage comes to play,
where
the dowry still got to be paid. Because if my child has raised her to this point, I have fed her, I've clothed her, you say I should give her to you, I should trust her with you. Have you got the capacity to continue where I'm stopping?
That's great. Yeah.
How do you demonstrate to me that where I'm stopping now, you are well able to continue?
Yeah.
So you bring stuff. They ask you bring some clothes.
Yes.
Bring this. So even if you take her and for a season you're not able to buy anything for her, she already got these things to start. And she'll be alright. She'll be something somehow. You understand? So the whole idea that the traditional marriage setting and dowry paying and all these things come from this idea of first appreciation to demonstration of maturity. That trust me.
Yes.
With this your child and I'll look after her.
Wow.
If you can't, there's a saying in my language which says, if a naked man says, I'll give you clothes, listen to their name. You say you want my child, you don't work. You are living with your parents. My child is comfortably with me.
Yeah.
And now you say, what again? So that she can be what? Because we know that when the woman goes into the man's company, as God has designed it, and that helpers will be coming on board. At the moment, how many helpers have you guys got? We got 2 helpers. And these 2 helpers are permanent residents. So if the family don't ensure that where you are going, you'll be looked after, you'll be sorted, that means that the family don't rest. Because they are constantly on edge. They are not sure what is going on. So that is why in different families, they got different things to protect their own kind of daughters. Unfortunately, some people overdo it. So that it comes out as if they are not selling the girl, which also is also not a good thing, because then she has to go and work for the purchase. If I can put it that way, which is also not a
So then, can we dive deeper into that? Because obviously, the reason why this topic is so controversial because of the fact that some people, that notion of I'm not selling my child and I'm not going there to be somebody's property again. So apart from that overdoing that you have spoken about, what are the other things that have made this thing to be viewed as almost negative when it's supposed to be an issue of positive, of like appreciation, like you say, and maturity that you are able to take care of this person, but then now it's become almost a negative thing because so what are some of the other contributors that have caused it to become a negative thing rather than for it to be a good thing?
I think there are so many things, but they all sum up in one thing. Some people tell themselves like, I've invested so much into this child and now you want to take this on. So there's a bit of greed coming there somewhere. Like, oh, well, since she's not going to be of your service, if she was with me, maybe she would have built me a house. Right. So now that you're taking it, give me enough money that can build me a house. So I don't need to worry about it. Yes. So those things sometimes also dictate how some people request some of these things. And some people also see that one golden opportunity to be rich. We have suffered enough poverty. So now that you are the in-law bringing, and as I checked, you look very fine. So I see your gold watch and your gold shoes. You seem like, so this is one golden opportunity to get some good this thing for the family, But if you look at the way the traditions, let's say the culture instituted marriages, it's actually meant to be that whatever the man is bringing for the sake of the woman, part of it goes with the woman into the marriage. It sets you up for the marriage. But that's why I'm saying greed now comes in. They even forget about the bride. You're like, oh, your husband is rich, he'll sort you out. These are all for us. Even while you are there, they are sharing it. Like, hey! So I think a bit of greed is more of it. And I think, like I said, with everything else that comes in that picture, the bottom line is it's like, how can I make myself rich out of you? Because this poverty can't continue. And you have got a rich man. You understand? But aside that, I can't really think of any particular thing. And then this whole thing of there's too much influence that is coming from everywhere. So people now are overdoing. There's an element of competition, element of all kinds of things in comparison to social media. So many things are making, it's even watering down the cultural way in which marriage is conducted, even the tradition, because now it's about all kinds of.
Wow. That's very insightful. I think I will take a step back a little bit and ask this one. Is there any practice or practices that will consider a marriage to be a tradition? Like, what are those practices that we can look at and be like, yes, when we see those practices, we say that this is a traditional marriage?
Well, some people, the traditional marriage, right? So, the marriage according to our tradition, so according to our culture, there are so many things inside it, right? Now, some people prefer to run with those things in their marriage. One of them is the man is the, let's say, the sole breadwinner of the family. And so then the maintenance of the home, the children, everything in the house, cooking, cleaning, whatsoever, is for the woman. And so to a degree, it works for some people to run with this kind of cultural notion or traditional notion of, oh, I'm the man, I don't go in the kitchen. That is why I married you. My food, my stomach is always with you, man. The way to a man's heart is to his stomach. So now my stomach is yours. So even when they are in a place where they can do, no. In my tradition, I'm not allowed in the kitchen. Once I have a wife, my wife going to do it. Oh, I don't clean. I'm a man. I don't clean. Now that is why I have a wife.
Sorry, just before you continue. Do you believe that this came from back then from our forefathers, or this was just incorporated, just included, just with this generation? How did you get to that point where say, okay, the men going out there looking for money, the wife look after the home? Has anything been watered down, or they're still holding on to the forefathers' tradition that they have passed down?
This is coming from the very forefathers. I think
Wow.
part of itself, you find it even in the scriptures. And it's always been until after World War II.
Okay.
That's what I always think. After World War II,
Yeah.
the light came in.
Ah,
When all the men went to war,
yeah.
the ladies had to watch back.
Ah, wow.
Make sure they send them, clothing, send them this, watch the back.
So
they were all.
words how to now
Yeah.
come in that fashion. Oh, wow,
And
wow.
women had to now take positions to make sure the nation is running while the men are fighting.
Wow.
When the men came back, they realized that
They can-
they all had all this potential. They
Yeah.
were sitting on it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But because the way our traditions and our cultures have been, our culture, I think there's a statement I found as I was looking. They say it's called it's a man's world. So in a man's world, which even when you read the scriptures, it's the same thing. It's a man's world. So women are more or less like invisible. Some tradition will tell you, or some cultures will tell you, when men sit,
Yeah.
women don't come.
Yeah.
Like that's like when men sit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it even supposed to be?
Yes.
Some people will have girl children. It's like, oh, I don't have kids. I'm waiting for that boy to come. Like, I'm waiting for the human being to be born.
Imagine. Yeah.
So it has always been a man's world. Until after the World War II, they realized that we couldn't have done without these women. But they are not used to it.
Yeah.
They're not used to this sudden realization of
Yeah.
the power in the woman.
Yeah.
So there are some people that now they are struggling with that
Yeah.
because it has always been a man's world. The man does whatever he likes. And the woman just goes. It's like the woman is here for the man's pleasure. You have said that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The woman is here for the man's pleasure. We are the one that do the thing. You're not supposed to do
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it has always, but like as I'm saying, after the World War II, when the women were able to manage everything and they came back and they realized, oh. So now women have to fight for, no, we want to work outside the home.
Yeah.
We don't want to just stay home. We have so much potential to do. And also, some people came back from war with PTSD. They just can't function.
Yeah.
And they have children waiting for that, but that is occupies place.
Yeah.
And this woman is managing everything and trying to sustain the family, even looking after him also.
Yes.
You understand? So then the realization has come to them, oh, this system can't continue. But then you have to go back to scriptures and work out from the beginning, how did God actually instituted marriage before it went wrong like this?
Yes.
You understand? So it's in this our century, which will be a couple of probably 20th century, 21st century, all these ones, that there's more understanding is coming into some of these things.
Yeah.
As why some of these outdated practices can't continue.
Yeah.
Because it's not helpful. Aside it not being helpful, that is not God's way. That is not how God designed marriage to be. And going about it that way is not helpful to anybody. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think you just read my mind there, because I didn't want us to even progress for you to bring some balance in there, because even till today we see young people that are operating with the whole traditional marriage setting. So what can you say to them before we even progress to really help them open their eyes to see that that pattern, it was for a season. And I love the part of the World War II, as we're saying that, I kept thinking that, okay, is that why there is so much protesting of women want to go to work, right? So, wow, okay. So what can you tell young people that are still holding the belief and the value and the whole cultural, the negative side of things? So.
And to even before I get into your question, the women had to fight a lot. That is why this whole feminism thing, but now it's gone out of hand a little bit.
Yes.
That is where that whole equality thing started coming out.
Yeah.
Because Like I said, it has always been a man's world.
Yeah.
Now women need a voice. We need to be allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Work outside the home,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
own something.
Yeah.
Women were not allowed to own anything.
Yeah.
It's like you are part of the man's property. Like what are you talking about?
Even voting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to vote, to do anything. You're more like invisible. You're part of the man's treasures. Like it's like I've acquired you plus all other things I have. You understand? But now I think that World War II aftermath brought a whole different kind of perspective as to how society is supposed to run. It still has always been a type of war. Men are trying to find their way into things. Now coming back to this generation, young people that are trying to hold on to these traditions and stuff. You see, the Bible talks about for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Some people don't even understand why certain things are the way they are. They go for it for the fun of it. And remember, God has always been a man's world. Many things work for the men.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Comfort and being laid back. Everyone has it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like it? Everybody. Everybody like it. So you find that for some people, it serves them to hold on to something like that because it's working for them. But then the moment you start to now bring some of these things into your marriage, it's not get married, according to me.
Yes.
This one you find it anywhere.
Yeah.
You only get from me.
Exclusive.
I call it, it's not a marriage. Why is it not a marriage? The Bible talks about